I'm still out here trying to eat a meal. I spend whole nights lurking in the field.
UK drill is at the creative front line of British urban music. It's young and it's brash. Some of its leading artists and many of its fans are still only in their teens.
Drill is 21st century urban commentators of the day. The sound of the streets, as it were. It's the new sound through which young people can express themselves.
But there's no denying its provocative imagery. A frequent and very un-British use of the N-word.
Try me, I wish I would. Get gangs out, do dirty.
And a nihilistic fetishization of violence. The kind of not-so-trivial postcode rivalries that have cost the lives of dozens of young black men already this year. Today, a judge banned 5 young drill artists from performing or uploading songs that incite violence. They call themselves 1011 after their West London postcode. The ruling is significant, thought to be the first time a CBO, a modern-day ASBO, has been used to censor art. As ever, the detail is as important as the context. One November night last year, the men were arrested carrying weapons. They initially claimed that the weapons were just props for, guess what, a music video. But the court heard they were, in fact, plotting revenge against a rival group who'd threatened one of their grandmothers. But they eventually pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit violent disorder. Look at the weapons found in their possession and consider the hyper-local tit-for-tat beefs glorified in their lyrics. Like No Hook, a song that makes repeated references to stabbing. So, is this just fantasy, or do violent songs encourage violent acts?
There is a clear link between these drill videos, as they're called, and the violence that would certainly have occurred the day when our officers intercepted these 5 young men on their way to undoubtedly commit an act of very serious violence.
But even for police, censorship is murky water.
Clearly, there are more people getting murdered. We've got to understand what's causing it. If it's videos, then let's see what we can do about it. I'm not convinced yet.
Drill videos are a glimpse down impoverished streets Middle England doesn't see and doesn't understand.
Drill is very much a cry for help. Even though they sound sinister, they're really saying, come to my neighborhood, see what's going on. I don't know if the police and the state have done enough to really engage with young people in a way that they understand where they're coming from and giving them what they need to make sure that these problems don't happen.
Drill as a genre began in America and has since been embraced and reinterpreted by London youth.
When I think about my bros,
Who, yes, rap about violence, but there is more to it, as it matures into increasingly sophisticated productions that suggest horizons that stretch way beyond the estates of Peckham.
The police say we're not trying to kill music or kill anyone's enjoyment. This is just common sense. They're trying to stop murder.
Well, so far as the drill music is concerned, I think it's too simplistic to say that it's the music that is fueling the crime and the violence in London at the moment. There is a problem with particular lyrics, and it's important that lyrics don't cross the line. So if there are lyrics that are inciting or encouraging violence towards a particular gang or particular group or particular individual, then there are ways to deal with that within the law.
Yeah, but after the event's too late, isn't it? Someone could be killed by then. Well,
the thing about the music is that it's also a social commentary. You know, it's not every single video that is called drill that is inciting violence. A lot of these young people are disenfranchised and they are rapping about what they see, not necessarily what they are going to do or what they intend to do. So it's too simplistic to say that because of this genre of music that there is a rise in knife and gang crime. I completely accept that there are some videos and there are some lyrics where gangs are rapping back and forth about what they're going to do to each other, and sometimes it's a problem.
And that's what this is. Yeah. This was a problem.
But on the whole, to say that the whole genre of drill music is a problem, in my view, is just too simplistic.
Patrick Green, I mean, this does raise all sorts of alarm bells, doesn't it, about censorship and freedom of expression?
Yeah, and I think this just shows in terms of law enforcement. I mean, it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing that law enforcement could do. If you've got two groups of young people, one group inciting violence against one another, you have to seek a legal remedy. However, this doesn't solve the problem. What we know from youth culture is you ban something, you inevitably make it more popular. You know, if you wanted to get a hit record many years ago, have it banned and it would go straight to #1. What we've got to do more of is not just ban the music, but help young people, educate young people away from inciting violence against one another.
But if you're saying banning is a bad idea because it makes things more popular, then why is this the right thing to do?
I'm not saying banning is the wrong thing. What we should be doing is educating and helping people create more positive forms of art that recognise their social situation, the deprivation, the world that they live in, but it shouldn't be about destroying one another. And this is what this is. This is about one group of young people going out to murder another group of young people. If this was hate crime, if these young people were targeting somebody else because of the colour of their skin, because of their religion, we would have no problem with this.
Can I just say that so far as this case is concerned, this offence did not arise out of a particular music video. It arose out of a video where it was a taunting and someone's grandmother became involved. So it wasn't a particular music video that the 1011 had put out that caused this crime. But what happened afterwards was that obviously they were arrested because of this video, and the police introduced a number of their previous music videos which had some pretty bad lyrics in them. And they used them as bad character and then have used them to get a criminal behaviour order.
Are you saying any kind of preemptive banning is a bad idea?
Well, look, I'm not saying that. Of course I'm not saying that.
So there are circumstances under which you think it would be a good idea to do this?
There are circumstances in which, for example, you've got one gang that is, for example, rapping about what they're going to do to another gang, and there is the other gang is rapping about what they're going to do back, and there is a problem in the community between these two gangs. So it could end up in real-world violence. We're not just talking about online, people just, you know, saying things that they don't mean. If it could result in real-world violence, then of course that's a problem, and of course it needs to be dealt with. But what we also need to consider is that the police do have other powers.
That is the point, isn't it, Patrick Green? I mean, there are other things they could do. They could have intelligence-led policing that stops this.
Yeah, but when it gets to this level, I think law enforcement has little option. Absolutely, we should be addressing this far earlier. When this gets to the courts, it's gone too far. We should be working with young people, and if the police need to invoke powers earlier, do that. But you know, when it gets to the courts, it's too late.
If a crime is being committed, then of course they should deal with that. But what's happened in this case is that it's been dealt with, in a sense, by a criminal behaviour order. And a criminal behaviour order which is actually quite far-reaching. And what it means is that so far as this group are concerned, they will have to give the police notice and get authorisation before they record or perform music.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you both very much indeed for coming.